Yo, what is up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 at Baek Battles. Today we are using a brand new team, and this team is the team that won Japan Nationals. We have Solgaleo, Rayquaza, Incineroar, Tapu Fini, Tapu Koko, and Gashan. It's a really interesting team. It's a concept that I've been wondering about for a while now, and yeah, I really want to try it. It's got some interesting combinations, some interesting Pokemon as well. We don't really see Gashadon or Solgaleo used that much in Ultra Series, so I think it's a great time to showcase, especially since a lot of other VGC YouTubers were really experimenting around with the Metacham team, which I am going to try at some point on the series. I do want to try out this Solgaleo team because I feel like not many people gave it that much of a shot other than on ladder, and I think it's still a really interesting team composition. I'm still not sure about how it fares well now, but I think it's still a pretty solid team overall. It's got some pretty nice synergy with the defensive parts of it because, you know, you got Rayquaza, which can limit the damage from primal attacks. You have Solgaleo, which is nice against Xerneas. You have Fini plus Incineroar, which is very two bulky Pokemon. What is this team? We have a Incineroar Ribombee, the Mewtwo, Ditto, Kyogre, and Tapu Fini. Size spam, not really that great for this team, but luckily it's not like a Lunala or Necrozma, so I think we're okay here. The Kyogre is a little bit scary, but we should be okay against this team. Tapu Koko, don't really want to bring. Do I want to bring Incineroar? It's decent against size spam, but it's not really that great otherwise. I'm thinking maybe go like I'm thinking Solgaleo, Fini, Rayquaza, Gashadon, because, like, what do I need Incineroar for? It's not really switching in other than Psychic-type moves. Don't think it's that great overall. I think I'm going to go with the Solgaleo here. Plus the Fini lead, I want to say. Yeah, because I want Light Screen up as soon as possible. Light Screen's really good against my opponent's team, I think, overall. Rayquaza is definitely coming, and then the question is, do I want the Gastrodon, which is really tempting because I think Gastrodon's really good against my opponent's team, or the Incineroar, which is, you know, solid overall, but I don't think it's going to be that great. I think I'm going to go Gastrodon. It kind of was the Kyogre, and I mean kind of in a literal sense, because Ice Beam actually does a lot of damage still to the Gastrodon. So face cam might not exactly be the best settings. I'm still experimenting around. But let us see how this is going to go. This match is going to go. I think we have an okay matchup here, but we got to play very cautiously against the offense my opponent can present. We're going to see the Incineroar Ribombee lead, which is a really interesting lead right here. So I don't exactly have the best switch into Incineroar, although I do have Scald, which is nice actually on Fini because I can actually get damage onto the Incineroar, which is nice. Intimidate also does affect Solgaleo thanks to its full metal body. We got the Misty Surge going up. It's interesting to note you either didn't bring the Lele or you didn't bring one of your restricteds, which is actually really nice here. I think my best play is to... I could just get an attack here. I don't know what Ribombee wants to do. Obviously, it has something immense right here. I just want to protect the Solgaleo. And do I want to get the light screen up right away? I kind of just want to go for damage onto my opponent's side. I think I'm going to just go straight for the Nature's Madness into the Incineroar. Actually, I should have checked the speed tiers on the Solgaleo and Fini, but I'm pretty sure the Fini was like min speed. So I think we're okay here. We got Solgaleo protecting. Fake out going to come out, tar down that Solgaleo, so that's a good sign, I guess. We got a Moonblast just coming out straight into the Fini. So how much is it going to do? Ribombee doesn't have the worst special attack in the world, but Fini is pretty bulky. Special attack drop, so I'm glad I went for the Nature's Madness. We do connect onto the Incineroar, which is really nice, so get some nice 50% chip onto that Incineroar, which will put in range of the superpower. I know my opponent could easily just switch out right here, but really I don't really see a great switch in here. Mewtwo's going to take some chip, and whatever comes in doesn't exactly appreciate light screen going up right now, so we'll go for the light screen here and a superpower. I don't think Ribombee gets anything that's like super interesting here. Incineroar's going to switch out into Mewtwo, which is completely fine. Again, I'm not really too scared of Mewtwo once the light screen goes up. So, yeah, my Solgaleo is really not threatened at all. Tailwind goes up, but I mean, my opponent's team was really already fast. Like, there wasn't anything on my team that was outspeeding my opponent. We will go for the superpower right here. Chip onto the Mewtwo, which is not bad chip damage at all. And we will get a light screen up. So, Not too bad, not too bad. We don't know what the Ribombee does. We know it has Tailwind, plus Moonblast. We don't know what the other moves are. I think it gets a healing option for like a heal pulse, but it's a different move. Do I want to use my Z move now is the question. I mean, there's not really much I would use my Z move for. Lele goes down to Sunsteel Strike. Kyogre's not really like the target of my Z move. Incineroar wouldn't be targeted with my Z move. I think just going for the Z move is fine into Mewtwo. And or I could Trick Room here. That's also another play. I think maybe Trick Room is better here. So I'm going to go for the Trick Room right here. Go for a Nature's Madness into the Ribombee slot because might as well just chip everything on my opponent's team right now. Especially since Ribombee's not in a great position. Yeah, it could switch out. Incineroar is going to come out, which is completely fine. Don't really mind Incineroar coming out. As long as we get the light screen, we should be good to go, as well as the fact that Trick Room is going to be actually pretty nice here, because I think I could get Gastrodon in, as the Mewtwo Y is going to appear. So, this is my opponent's Mega Evolution. There wasn't anything else. It's not Mega Mewtwo X, which would have been probably more threatening in the situation, actually. We're going to see the Side Strike come out, probably just target Fini and get some chip damage, but Fini should be able to take this quite comfortably with the light screen. Doesn't proc my Berry, which is unfortunate, but we're still in a pretty okay position as here comes the attack into the Incineroar, and here comes the Trick Room. So this is actually a pretty good spot for me, I think. Does Gastrodon have Recover? I think it's Dream Moves Protect. Yes, Dream Moves Protect. Do I need my Fini for much? Not really. I got the light screen up. That's kind of the goal here. I think I'm just going to switch out my Solgaleo, go into Gastrodon, and I think... Do I want to boost up? Or do I want to just chip away at the Mewtwo with Nature's Madness? I think since I have the Z-move and not much of my opponent switches into the Z-move well, I think I'm actually going to boost my Gastrodon, so I'm actually going to Scald the Solgaleo slot and boost on my Gastrodon. Because a +1 Gastrodon does some pretty good damage overall to my opponent's team, I think. So we'll bring out the Gastrodon here. Fake Out gonna come out, target down, probably Solgaleo. Yeah, you don't want to activate the Berry on Fini. We will Scald our Gastrodon and activate the Storm Drain there. As Side Strike gonna come out, probably just finish off the Fini, but that's completely fine. Even if it doesn't finish off Fini, this is still a good position for me. But it does finish off Fini, no surprise there. The Fini will go down, and right here we can get our Solgaleo in. Or we could go Rayquaza, but I do want to go to Solgaleo. I think, I mean, Crunch isn't that bad against my opponent's team. I just don't know if Crunch would knock out the Mewtwo because I don't want to Mega Evolve yet with my Rayquaza. The reason I don't want to Mega Evolve yet is so I can neuter the Kyogre's Weather in the future. So I think I'm just going to bring out the Solgaleo. Earth Power just targets down the Incineroar slot. There's nothing that really wants to take that Earth Power. And we will just go for the Z move. Even if Mewtwo protects, it's taking Chip to put in range of Sunsteel Strike, I think. So yeah, let's just go on the offense here. There's not much my opponent can really do. Incineroar most likely not carrying Protect on this team. It's not Berry either, so I'm assuming it's either an Assault Vest set or the Z-move set. Z-move makes a lot of sense here because I don't think many Mons on my opponent's team can really carry the Z-move. I guess maybe Ditto could be Fairyum Z for Xerneas, and I don't think it'd be Z-move for Ribombee, so I'm trying to remember what the last one was. The Lele? I don't think it's Z-move Lele. Ribombee is going to come out from my opponent's side, which is fine. As Mewtwo does protect, very safe play on my opponent's side. Earth Power is neutral, right? No, it's a ground type, right? I mean, Bug resist ground. Yeah, it should resist ground. Still half, which is very impressive here. And the Z-move will come out. I think that's a pretty good turn overall. We're getting quite a bit of chip damage. Sure, we're not picking up knockouts, but we're basically chipping everything for my Rayquaza. At this rate, Extreme Speed should be able to win the game. If Lele's in the back, not really a big deal. That means my opponent really can't touch the Solgaleo at this point in the game, so pretty comfortable with where we're at position-wise, so we will get the Z-move off into Mewtwo. I don't think this is copyrighted. Hopefully it's not copyrighted, otherwise you're gonna see this part cut out, but we got the chip on Mewtwo that I wanted. We got the chip on Mewtwo that we... Ooh, that does a bit more than expected, which is actually nice. Sunsteel Strike is definitely gonna KO the Mewtwo at that range. Now appears out for my opponent. Misty Terrain disappears, which is not too bad. And I'm actually just want Ice Beam to Ribombee and Sunsteel Strike, I think. The Mewtwo, because even if Incineroar comes in, it's Sunsteel Strike should be able to Pick up the knockout Incineroar. Even if like the Kyogre comes in, I don't think it's that big of a deal yet. Because we are really Spadef Solgaleo on this team. We also have Rayquaza to switch into in the back. So I think we're okay here in this position. We got to be a little bit cautious though, but basically I think the pieces are coming into play. Also, like, even if the Kyogre comes in, I get Chip onto the Kyogre, which is nice, or I get the knockout on Incineroar. Both are very good for me. The knockout on Incineroar here, if it does knock out, I'm assuming this knocks out. It's just basically some free it's basically free rain for my Rayquaza because I don't have to worry about Intimidate. Ribombee doesn't protect either, so we're able to knock out Ribombee, which is nice. And the Sunsteel Strike should be able to knock out Incineroar. I could have went for Superpower, no reason to, I think. Even if Mewtwo switched out and I called it, I don't think I would have been in the better spot. Sunsteel Strike, yeah, that knocks out Incineroar, so perfect. We're down to my opponent's last two Pokemon. I'm guessing it's going to be both restricted. Light Screen wears off, which is an unfortunate timing because both my opponent's Pokemon are going to be the physical side. But still not a bad idea here. Even if it's something like Ditto, not really too worried about it. Tapu Fini, I'm not scared of either. Kyogre's the worst possible threat. This is going to be that Kyogre, but again, it's still not that big of a deal just yet. So, this is where it gets interesting because I really want to get chip damage onto my opponent's side. The question is, does Mewtwo protect or not? Because I could get a Trick Room up, or I could go for the Sunsteel Strike. There are multiple different options here. I think Earth Power should be enough to get rid of the Mewtwo, so I think I'm actually going to attempt it. What's literally the worst case? You Water Spout, protect. Gastrodon gets a special attack boost, so that's not that big of a deal. Mewtwo attacks, and I attack into it. Get the KO, which is probably more ideal. Earth Power into the Kyogre is also really nice here, I think, just because of the fact that it should put it in the range of Dragon's Ascent. So I think I'm just going to go and attack here. I don't have to get Trick Room up here, and I feel like my opponents might try to deny Trick Room by doubling up, but we're just going to see a Protect from Mewtwo, which is completely fine as well, because I'm not really too scared of that. Oh, Trick Room's not over yet. Oh, that's actually embarrassing, because I forgot about that. But we get the beautiful chip damage on Kyogre, which is completely fine. As Water Spout or Ice Beam, Origin Pulse, Ice Beam gonna come out. Completely okay. Yikes, that's a 2 KO? Oh, it's a critical hit, okay. Again, not too big of a deal. My opponent has to double up something in order to pick up a KO. I'm pretty sure Earth Power should knock out the Mewtwo's range. I guess maybe if it's a double protect, it gets a little bit interesting. But I don't feel like you would go... Would you go for the double? I don't think you would. And luckily, Water Spout's not going to be able to KO Solgaleo at the range it's at. So we'll go for the double up into the Mewtwo and see what my opponent decides to do. Again, we do have the Rayquaza in the back, which should be able to clean up pretty nicely. I think it should clean up nicely. I just don't know if Mewtwo's in range of extreme speed. I mean, Mewtwo does lose some physical defense when it Mega Evolves into the Mega Y form, so we should be fine, I think. Gastrodon goes down. I guess Scald Burn is annoying if it does happen, but it's a Water Spout, so single target will live this like near max Spadef Solgaleo. Still does a ton of damage though, but luckily I think that's the range Origin Pulse would have done as well, so we're okay with that. Pick up the knockout on Mewtwo Y, and then we should be able to win just with Rayquaza plus Solgaleo, clicking Dragon Ascent into Superpower, because even if we don't knock out the Kyogre with the Dragon Ascent, the Superpower will be able to finish it off. So we'll go Rayquaza here and Mega Evolve, and also the Kyogre can't even KO the Rayquaza. I think even with a critical hit, it should Rayquaza should be able to survive with the Delta Stream plus the Assault Vest as well. So we also have those factors to consider. So get that KO on the Kyogre. Superpower Dragon Ascent, like no reason not to. We should be able to pick up the KO right here, and yeah, that's gonna seal it up. So really interesting team. I still don't know what the Ribombee did though. We only saw Moonblast, and we saw the Moonblast. We saw Tailwind. Maybe it was a move that can get rid of, was it Pollen Puff, I think, where it denies fire type attacks. Although I don't think that would matter on this team, so I'm kind of rooting against it. I think it gets... Does it get Skill Swap? I can't exactly remember Ribombee's full moveset. I know it gets quite a few options, actually, which are really cool. And of course, its ability is really awesome as well. The fact that it can ignore secondary effects from moves, so it can't get flinched from Fake Out or Rock Slide. It ignores the 10% chances from like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and all those other moves, which is actually really cool. So yeah, it is an interesting Pokemon, but it is super fast. It is very fast though. I think it's like I want to say 120 something, if I remember right. I don't think it's going to be one of those offensive sweepers we see with Quiver Dance. I doubt it was Sticky Web either. So yeah, but otherwise we were able to get Trick Room up pretty comfortably. Gastrodon put in a lot of work. As I mentioned before, I didn't think Incineroar would be that great against my opponent, and didn't look like it. My opponent also didn't bring the Tapu Fini, too scared of the Solgaleo. Also dealing with the Terrain War with the Fini, and it really wasn't going to be able to do much damage after a light screen. So nice. Also, we didn't have to worry about Ditto transforming. And yeah, we just were able to, I think, just power through. Once we got Trick Room up at the right timing, got the chip damage that we needed, Nature's Madness being a beautiful move. Just 50% of your opponent's HP is really nice. Or whatever remains of the HP if it's not at full. But otherwise, yeah, not really much to say. Just a really defensive team that can go pretty. I mean, we did really work. Gastrodon actually did a lot of work. I was actually surprised. I know Ribombee's a bit frail, but I didn't actually expect Earth Power to be potential to a KO. I was not gonna risk though the Earth Power being a 2 KO on the Ribombee and it living with like that little sliver and then getting something crazy off. So 1487 rated player Nick here with the dual primal. Looks like the Groudon, Kyogre, Metagross, Tornadus, Tapu Fini, and Hitmontop. This is a really interesting team. I actually kind of like it too, which is the funny part. I kind of like this team. Rayquaza does really well against this team. My opponent doesn't exactly have a good switch in Rayquaza between the rotation of like Earth Power, Dragon Scent, which is really nice. Coco, not so great. Gastrodon could do some work. I'm not really a huge fan of Solgaleo in this matchup, and I think Solgaleo will stay at home. The thing about Solgaleo is it's actually pretty decent in the fact that this team doesn't exactly appreciate Tapu Fini. It's not exactly that great against Tapu Fini offensively, other than the physical type attacks. What's nice about Solgaleo is you can knock out Rayquaza without having to worry about opponents Intimidate, as well as Fini. Like, those Pokemon can be super annoying. But Solgaleo can do a big chunk to them immediately, which is really nice. I think I'm gonna go Incineroar Fini. I think it's just a safe lead overall. I can't really see anything that's really wrong with that. Gonna bring the Gastrodon and the Rayquaza in the back because I think they're really solid in this matchup. I'm just gonna have to worry a bit about the Kyogre. I think I definitely want Light Screen up as soon as possible. I'm gonna have to worry about Fini not taking too much chip damage right away. My opponent's got like this Hitmontop Tapu Fini, which is more supportive, that can't do that much damage. Nature's Madness is gonna be annoying though to deal with on my opponent's side of the field, and of course the Groudon, if it does get into a position where it can do a lot of damage, that could be scary. We're gonna see the Hitmontop plus the Kyogre out on the field. Now, not exactly that great for us here because of the fact that Water Spout could go out, but we do have a Gastrodon, so we could just go into the Gastrodon, I think, and try to attempt to set up that light screen. The Hitmontop is Intimidate, so it really won't do too much. I think we're in a good position actually just to go for that. The question is if the Kyogre carries Thunder. On Dual Primal back in 2016, Kyogre liked to run Thunder because the opposing Kyogre matchup was a little bit weak. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think I do want to go for the light screen though. And I do want to switch into the Gastrodon. I don't want to risk one, an Ice Beam call out into the Fini to go for the Rayquaza that could come in. Or the Gastrodon coming in, I guess. But I do want to set light screen. I would love to chip away the Kyogre as much as possible, but I think taking as little damage as possible for the next few turns is better. We're probably just going to see the Fake Out and the Fini anyway. That's what I would imagine here. Is Fake Out going to come out? No, Target's Incineroar didn't want to get faked out, it looked like, and wanted to pick up a KO if I did make that mistake and just stayed into Fake Out, trade Fake Outs right there. But not exactly the case I wanted. Fini takes so much damage from that Water Spout. It did half. What kind of Fini is... Wait, is Fini Spadef? Is that just max special attack Kyogre? Like, that did a lot. Alright, that did a lot of damage. Definitely likes an Earth Power though on my opponent's team. I definitely want to go for Earth Power into the Kyogre. And I'll go for a Madness too, because nothing really likes to switch in. Even if it's Torn, that's fine. Its best move it can hit me with is a Z move or Hurricane, which shouldn't be able to knock out Fini under the light screen. But I feel like this Fini's physically defensive. I didn't actually remember the spreads on this Fini. So let's see here. Tornadus is going to come out from my opponent's Hitmontop actually. And let's see what the Kyogre goes for. Gonna be... it is the Thunder set. So that's a little bit unfortunate. We do lose Fini. Not the end of the world though. But we do lose our Heal Pulse option, which is kind of bad. But not the end of the world. We will go for the Earth Power into the Kyogre, which should do some good damage. Nice damage. Going to the Rayquaza here. This is scary actually. That... oh man, I just can't believe the Thunder right there. So it was the Thunder set. Not much I could have done though. I guess maybe I could switch out the Ray into the Fini into the Ray. I actually didn't expect Thunder to KO either. I was thinking of it in the back, but then again, that Water Spot just did so much damage. We'll go for the Ice Beam and the Torn. Attempt to Dragon Scent the Kyogre as well. I do want chip damage on the Kyogre. Getting chip damage on the Kyogre is absolutely huge here, and even if Hitmontop switches in, Kyogre can only Ice Beam one of my threats, and my team will tank the Ice Beam just fine. Even the Rayquaza at -1 because it'll be alright. Let's see what's coming out here. It's going to be the Hitmontop, so Hitmontop's going to be sacked here, it looks like, which is completely fine for me, I think, because of the fact that I should be able to knock out the Hitmontop. Actually, does it? I don't think it does. I believe Hitmontop's just such a bulky Pokemon, and the Rayquaza's not like max invested. I remember Hitmontop being able to live Dragon Scent in the past, so let's see here. And then Ice Beam. I'm gonna knock out Torn, but it's like my best option too. We're gonna see Tailwind come out from the Tornadus, which is completely okay here, as we will be able to, I think, knock out the Hitmontop. If it's a Jax button, it could get really scary, but I think we'd still be okay. Let's see. It just knocks out the Hitmontop, so we are able to get rid of Hitmontop. Really nice there, as I don't have to worry about any more Intimidate. So once I switch out Rayquaza, it is going to be good at neutral attacks. So Ice Beam will be able to come out into the Torn, do neutral damage because of the Delta Stream. Ooh, we get a freeze, which is pretty helpful. That is pretty helpful. Let's see what's coming out though. It might be the Groudon or the Kyogre. It's Metagross, that's fine. Yeah, so that freeze is pretty helpful. That means there's a chance my opponent can attack for the rest of the game, which is really nice. Even 1 or 2 turns could be really important here because the Z Hurricane is a really big threat. We're going to see the Kyogre come back out. The question is, do you go for the water move expecting the Incineroar to come in, or do you just go on the offense here? I feel like if I just go for the Ice Beam into the... I want to Earth Power the Kyogre because it just puts in range of Extreme Speed, and I feel like that's the better play, so I think I'm going to go for it. And I'd rather just go Incineroar here. I really want to put that Kyogre in range of Extreme Speed, and I feel like it's just better. I feel like that's better for me in the long run too than getting rid of the Torn, getting Groudon a free switch in, and then I'm in a little bit of trouble because the Groudon can go for Precipice Blades because I know I'm switching into Incineroar right here. So if Incineroar's out on the field and Groudon comes in for free, that's not exactly a good time. We're just going to see it protect, stalling out the own Tailwind, but probably just trying to buy Torn a turn, which is fine here because now I can go for a Fake Out into Earth Power into the Kyogre slot, and that's a pretty big deal, I think. Every bit of chip is just important for putting this Kyogre into the range I want it to be. Groudon can't switch in. Metagross can't switch in. Those are the most offensive threats on my opponent's team that can come out here. There is going to be the last turn of light screen, which is a little bit worrisome, but we should be fine here, I think. So, Fake Out into the Kyogre. That's bulky. That's a bulky Kyogre. That Fake Out did absolutely nothing. Earth Power going to come out. I could Surf the following turn too. Do I want to Surf? I don't think Surf knocks out the Kyogre though. If I bring in the Rayquaza. I could. What do I want to do with Incineroar though? Do I want to sack it or just go into Ray? I think I'm just gonna Ice Beam the Torn slot because Kyogre could protect again. Although I don't think it should protect in any situation. I'm gonna go into my Ray. I'm guessing that this Kyogre... Wait, the Kyogre revealed Water Spout and Thunder. Does it have Ice Beam or Origin Pulse? I mean, yeah, does it have Ice Beam or Origin Pulse? That's a big question. We revealed Protect too. One's gonna be Frozen. Ice Beam into the Gastrodon. Okay. So that's fine. We get an Ice Beam off. That should be able to knock out the Torn. Nice. I'm okay with that. Tailwind Peter's out, and then here comes the Groudon, I'm guessing? Yeah, Groudon gonna come out, no surprise there. And I think I have a very safe play here just to go for Extreme Speed into the Kyogre slot and Earth Power. There's nothing that this Groudon can really do that can knock out my Rayquaza here. Maybe Stone Edge, but I don't think Stone Edge would knock out since this Rayquaza is near max HP. Also, the fact is, if you Precipice Blades, I just get a free switch into Incineroar, and then I'd be able to fake out Extreme Speed even if the Kyogre protects here. So I think we're in a fine position. Earth Power should be fine. Extreme Speed should be okay here. That Ice Beam did a lot to the Gastrodon, by the way. Like, Gastrodon did not take that well. Kyogre protects here. I could have also went Incineroar and Earth Power to Groudon, but I didn't want the off chance the Kyogre went for the Ice Beam offensive play, trying to read that defensive play happening. Precipice Blade's going to come out. Doesn't affect Rayquaza. Will hit my Gastrodon. Not a big deal. Because if it's physical, it most likely just means it can't touch my Rayquaza. So we will go Incineroar here. And man, Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza. The game is lagging so badly. You have the Monster 3. So, and an Incineroar. So let's see here. Just a simple fake out into the Groudon. Yeah, you can tell it's freezing up, including the video. But luckily the game's almost over. I just click fake out into the Groudon Extreme Speed. Even if you get a double protect, it's not a big deal. It doesn't look like Groudon can beat me anyway. So Kyogre gonna go for a double, fails, and that should secure the game because 2 Earth Powers will be able to knock out Groudon. Unless it does actually have Stone Edge and gets a crit onto my Rayquaza. Like, that's what it would need to happen. So, let's see if my opponent's lucky enough. Is my opponent feeling lucky or not? So, we'll go for Flare Blitz here. We'll go for Earth Power. Because, yeah, no reason not to. Looking choppy. Wow, that Earth Power did a bit more damage than I thought. Precipice Blade's going to come out. I don't think this knocks out Incineroar either. The video is looking really choppy. I do apologize about that. But not much I can really do. Especially since it's the end of the game. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. Since there's not really even like a need to even watch the animations go off. As Incineroar going to heal back. Not a big deal. Rayquaza outspeeds the Groudon. Goes for the Earth Power. Good game. There isn't anything that this Groudon can do. So we'll go for the Earth Power right there. We'll go for the Flare Blitz. Game is sealed up. And nice. So we did get a freeze on Torn, which I believe rendered it useless for, I want to say it was 3 turns. The chip damage could have mattered. It also was most likely my opponent's Z-move, so it was definitely a big help. Alright, let's get rid of that lag. It doesn't matter if the end of the video is 30 frames because all I'm going to be doing is talking. So for the game, most part, yes, we did get, I believe, the Tornadus immobilized for, I think it was 3 turns. We had light screen up at the time, so I don't think Z Hurricane or Hurricane was going to be like a big game changer. I mean, it wouldn't have changed any KOs. I mean, Gastrodon would have still been like at the range it was, where it was either going to go down to attack, but it was still going to be alive anyway, so that was the big important part. Rayquaza, like the Hurricane really didn't affect it. Would have affected at all. We had an Assault Vest plus light screen, so wouldn't have really done too much. So I think overall, like, even though we got the freeze, I don't think it was like super big deal. Like, maybe it clouded my opponent's judgment to where maybe my opponent could switch out to Tornadus just because it would be useful later in the game going to Groudon. But I feel like it would still make that play anyway, even if it wasn't frozen. But it could be like a factor of that. But otherwise, Yeah, I just don't think there was really much my opponent could really do. I think we had a pretty solid start. Like Rayquaza was really good there. We got in at the right timings and it was just able to do a lot of work. Lead wasn't so great. The Kyogre just did so much damage. I wasn't expecting it to do that much damage. If I knew Thunder would KO the Fini at the range, and I probably should have expected it, I probably would go out in a Rayquaza. But then again, I don't think the Fini sack was too bad for us, just because of the fact that one, if we did go for the Rayquaza switch, as the Kyogre Thundered, and it paralyzes my Rayquaza, we're actually in a terrible spot. Also, the fact is, I didn't really expect Thunder, Water Spout, Ice Beam. So the only water move my opponent had was Water Spout on the Kyogre. Uh, but yeah. So I guess that means even if my opponent could have went for the water type attack, predicting the Incineroar, I guess it didn't even matter at that point because Incineroar was at full. I'm not going down to a water spot that's not even at full HP. So yeah, I think it would have been fine regardless. I think the plays actually made sense overall, even with the Incineroar coming in, switching into a potential Origin Boost. But then I realized, oh wait, my opponent doesn't even have Origin Boost. But hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. We'll be using this team for the next few episodes. If you do want to try it out, there's a QR code in the description down below. But otherwise, you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my Twitch channel, my other social media, the previous episodes, the playlist, etc. If you want to support my channel, leave me a like on this video, really helps, as well as sharing this video with your friends. And leave a comment down below. But if you do want to go an extra step to support me, there is my Patreon page, which I'll link down below as well. But otherwise, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. And until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.